and fight for what is right. Attorney Zohra Mavani of Mavani and Hernandez Law Firm, PLLC, proudly represents families across DFW and Houston in car accidents, truck accidents, rideshare injuries, workplace injuries, wrongful death, and much, much more. With over a decade of experience, Attorney Zohra Mavani believes you are more than just another case, but that you actually deserve a voice. If you've been hurt, Attorney Zohra Mavani fights for you. Call now at 469-494-3990 for your free consultation, or visit The Voice of Texas, www.mavanihernandezlaw.com. Attorney Zohra Mavani, Texas Ki Awaaz. So let's get back to this. We'll have more on India, England coming up. I want to talk quickly about MLC, Major League Cricket, that's going on right here in our backyard. Yes, we touched on it last Sunday. We're going to touch on it again. All those matches going on across the US. We are about to wrap up the California portion. I think the last two matches in Pomona take place today, Seattle and Texas, and then New York and San Francisco. And then starting next Wednesday, the 8th of July, the matches are back here in Dallas. And then I believe next Wednesday, they're going to go back to Oakland for the qualifiers, eliminators, all that good stuff. All of that takes place. So you've got a few matches between this Wednesday and next Sunday that are going to be taking place. So if you have not seen Major League Cricket yet, do find the time over the next week or so and go catch a match or two. That is that. Where do things stand? Well, Mumbai Indians, New York are sitting at the top with 8 points at 4-2. The Washington team is tied with them at 4 wins, but 3 losses at 8 points. And SEO, San Fran, Texas Super Kings they've lost 2 straight now. And the Knight Riders, they're all sitting at 6 points. So everybody's in it. Although your Texas Super Kings, after leading the table early on, are a little bit on the downswing here. So they need to really turn things around quickly. Starting with the match today at 4:30, they play Seattle, and I mean, in a tournament this small, 6 teams, 4 of them move on to the playoffs. I'd be hard pressed to call a match a must win, but man, where they started and where they are right now, this is a must win situation. Absolutely. Texas has to pull this off. The match starts in 4.5 hours, and here's hoping that they can turn things around by beating Seattle today. That's MLC. We've got the last 5 minutes. Let's talk about the ICC Women's T20 World Cup. So last week, we had talked about how India had lost to Australia in essentially an elimination game, right? Australia was kind of locked in because they were sitting at 4-0. And had they lost that match, they'd still be in at 4-1, possibly because of that net run rate, even if they had lost. But that would have left the Indian women at 4-1 and South Africa at 4-1. And I think India would have, I know they would have had the better net run rate. So it would have been Australian and the Indian women from Group 1 instead of Australian and the South African women getting in. From the other side, it was England, and in a tightly contested second place, West Indies won out on net run rate, even though theirs was negative, there was less negative than Sri Lanka's, who also had 6 points, but a net run rate of minus zero point 0.7 instead of West Indies's negative zero point 0.1. So West Indies and England had moved on, as did South Africa and Australia. And that led to some exciting matches. Some exciting matches. The first semifinal, West Indies ladies against Australia, came up very small. Scored 125 total at a loss of 7. And Australia made short work of them, scoring 127 to catch that target of 125 in the 13th over. Won this one handily and moved on from that first semifinal, moved on to the finals, did the Australia team. The second one between England and South Africa went about as expected. The English ladies, even though there was some turmoil at the top, the captain came in at 1 down, Nat Sciver-Brunt, and scored 75 off of 47 to lead their team to 169 at a loss of 5 after 20. And South Africa, just with a target of 170 against a strong side like England, just never was in this match. Even though the openers hung around, the captain herself came in, Laura Volvard and Tasmin Brits. They hung in for a little while. Laura Volvard fell after scoring 17 off of 15, but Tasmin Brits 51 off of 45, but nothing doing. The wickets just fell one after another. Once Laura's wicket fell in the 6th over, in the 8th, Annie Dirksen fell. That left them at 49 off, with a loss of 2. In the 11th, they lost another one, leaving them at 68 at a loss of 3. In the 14th over, lost the next wicket, 91 for a loss of 4. And right off the bat, 95 for a loss of 5 in the very next 15th over. All in all, South African women only scored 129 at a loss of 8 at the end of 20, losing this one by 40 runs. England wins by 40, moves on to the finals, and England and Australia in a maybe not tense, but a good match that looks like Australia is going to pull it off pretty easily here. The English ladies scored 150 at a loss of 4. They batted first. The big boppers here, the openers, disappointed, but this time the captain, Sciver-Brunt, came in at 1 down, scored 58 off of 53. And then Freya Kemp toward the end had some fireworks, 44 off of just 28, with 4 fours and a 6, strike rate of 157, but leaving England at just 150 at a loss of 4. And boy, oh boy, despite an early wicket, Georgia Vall was bowled out by Bell at 9 off of 6. Beth Mooney and Phoebe Litchfield are on the field right now with some fireworks. Australia at the end of 8 is sitting at 80 at a loss of 1, well in line to reach that target of 151. The win probability for the Australian ladies right now, 92.54. You have been listening to the Sports Spotlight. It's been a pleasure. It's been fun. I hope you enjoyed it. It is time to go. You're going to be listening to Atul coming up in just a minute, in just a few minutes after some time off. It's going to be great to have him bring some nostalgia down memory lane, or melody lane, as he calls it, because it's music. And with that, I'm signing off. I'm your host, Rizwan. Thank you for tuning in. I'll be back next Sunday from 10 to midnight with the Sports Spotlight. And before that, you'll hear me Wednesday night with Chandni Ratein at 9 p.m. Peace.
You are listening to Radio Azad.